to Seven River Sports. I'm your host, Terry Arenz, and each week an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Well, it's basketball season, and this week, one of my favorites, head coach Shane Schmelling from Onalaska girls basketball, along with Devyn Schmelling and Arenz. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us, Terry.
Let's get right into the meat of this interview, shall we? Coach Shane Schmelling, one of my favorites, and why? Because I like your style of coaching. Your style meaning you hold your players accountable. You hold referees accountable. You teach the right things. You're a little old school, but I've said this on many of our broadcasts. You coach the way I think coaches should deliver the message, because everything is not always okay. You coach like a teacher. A good teacher, if you're supposed to get an A or a B and you get a C, it's not okay. Now, that's a compliment. React to that, would you please, Shane?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that. I'm not sure everyone in this day and age does respond to coaching like that, but you're right. I mean, my approach to coaching is we're trying to teach these kids more life lessons than we are about basketball, quite honestly, and we want them to be productive when they get out of high school and they're in college and they have jobs, and I have high expectations, and that's a compliment to the kids. I know what they're capable of doing, and we push them hard. There are no two ways about it. We push them hard to try to get them to reach those expectations, and when they're not doing things right, we might pull them out of a game and let them sit for a minute or two, and that's the accountability piece. I know they don't always like that, but I learned that was a pretty effective way back when I played, and these girls here are to a couple of prime examples. They've responded well to it. Not everybody does, but we're happy with the direction the program's going, and I appreciate your compliments.
We have 5 children, and now 16 grandchildren. I've always wanted them to play for a coach or be in a classroom where a teacher is fair, understands differences, has a sense of empathy for situational things or whatever. But I've always wanted my children to be in a classroom under a teacher or play for somebody that pushes them, that everything isn't okay. And you're right. Have you had to, I mean, you grew up that way. I watched you play at home, and you coached at home. We're going to talk a little bit about your career. But you've had to change a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. A couple years ago when I got back into it, like I said, not everyone, as far as players and parents, quite honestly, and even administration to a certain degree, it's changed a little bit. So, I heard the message. It wasn't easy for me because, that's the way I've coached for forever. I heard the message, and I probably haven't calmed it down as much as some people would like, but I have made an effort, more so listen to the kids when they come to me and just think I'm maybe pushing too hard or being a little too hard on them. Then I usually try to back off a little bit. But
yeah, you got to read the tea leaves. You can't treat every athlete the same because there's different levels of emotions and so on. A lot of things going on in athletes' lives. I get it, and with Devyn too. My heart was cracked when I was at UWL, and I saw you go down for that injury. And when I say it was cracked, I really felt for you because I know the passion you have for basketball. Let's begin by talking about how you've handled that and what kind of a setback that was and how you've overcome that.
Well, when I went down, I knew it wasn't good, and it hurt a lot, and I just was trying to calm myself down and just realize that everything happens for a reason, and I have to take it the best I can and do the best I can whatever happens.
But it was such a serious injury. It wasn't a garden variety injury that you see athletes have a lot. It was like one of the worst things I've ever seen. And there was a great article in the paper. You were profiled in a seminar that I went to, in a workshop on injuries. UWL was part of it. And so you might have thought this is going to be a setback that I'm not sure if I can handle.
There was a lot of thinking going on in those 7.5 months I was out, and I was trying to understand everything that was going on, and I was just trying to take away what I could and work on my mental aspect of the game and learn and try and understand maybe ways of coaching in case the worst comes to worst and I couldn't come back, or just whatever would happen. I was just trying to stay positive through it because I knew that it could get bad. But
yeah, and you had supportive teammates and family and so on, and I'm sure it was highly emotional. Well, let's not forget about Lauren Arenz, too. Has life been kind of an easy road for you, Lauren Arenz?
I mean, it's been going pretty good, actually. This season's been going amazing, and with the teammates I have and the coach, I think we just have a great bond, and it couldn't be going better, honestly.
Now, both of you come from a family of athletes and so on, and parents and high expectations and so on. And you having an older brother that was on the show a few years ago, and a twin brother and an older sister, I mean, there are expectations. Some of them are subliminal, but nevertheless, some younger siblings have a hard time with that, living up to the standards of older siblings. Some of them self-destruct. Has it been hard for you?
Yeah, of course it has. I mean, especially with my brother, like going to a Division I and then a Division II college, just knowing like he put in so much extra time, and growing up too, I would go with him to the gym, and just seeing how well he developed as a player, as well as my sister, like just knowing I just want to be my best as a player, and I look up to them a lot. So.
Do you think about that when you're playing and when maybe you're not playing well, because everyone has peak performances, some people play well and other games you don't. You can't play at the top of your game every game. It's just difficult to do. Do you think sometimes you got all these people watching, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm not really playing as well as I could be?
Yeah, for sure. That goes through my mind every once in a while, but I mean, you just got to play your hardest, and no matter what, you got to give your 100%, because it's going to be embarrassing if you don't.
Certainly the spotlight is on you, Devyn, too, with your dad as the coach. I know how difficult that is because I coached a couple of our children. Dick Bennett talks about how hard it was when he coached Tony. Some of the rides home and some of the sitting around the kitchen table was not the most pleasant. It was difficult. Sometimes peers made it challenging too. And of course you have an older sister that's an accomplished athlete and playing collegiately too. Address that in terms of how that has made it a challenge for you.
Well, just knowing that like people are talking about like that, I just have to basically honestly ignore it. There's nothing I can do to change what they say or how they feel about me and my dad coaching me. I just have to play my hardest because I know that I've worked hard to earn my spot and to get to where I am, and I just have to keep working.
That's a pretty mature attitude. Not a lot of people would say that, because I'm sure there are times when it's challenging.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where I've felt like it was a lot harder than it may seem, and especially like right before games, like a lot of things running through your head. You just have to try and focus on the game and focus on what's best for the team and what's best for us.
You've taken the high road. A lot of people, even adults, can learn that as a life lesson right there. I said earlier on that I have a lot of respect for Coach James Schmelling. He knows that too. We talk quite a bit. When I look at the resume, I don't know if all of our viewers know this. Started out coaching the boys at Holman under Gary Johnson, one of my good friends. And then at Bangor, won a state championship at Bangor. I can't go through all this or the show will be over with, but Tribune Coach of the Year, coached your daughters, coached AAU, and the Onalaska School District in the city of Onalaska was fortunate enough 3 years ago to hire him because you're 55 and 15. You've been ranked this year. You're 16 and 4, and you continue. You set the bar high when you took the job, and you've maintained that, and you've done a great job. As we tape the show here on the 17th of February, looming tomorrow, by the way. Oh my goodness, a big game. So talk about two things before we go to break. What you've done with the program, and what are we going to see tomorrow night on Tuesday? By the way, it'll be one of our games of the week.
Well, as far as the program, I mean, Onalaska has always been a basketball town. you know, a lot of history on the boys' side. Thank John Shelton for that, for the success he had, and you know, as far as expectations and coaching kids hard, there's a prime example of someone that was very successful with it. But you know, it's always been a good basketball town, and a lot of these boys that are playing have sisters, and they grew up around the game. Lauren's a great example. So you know, the program had success before I took the job. But you know, we've been blessed to have some nice athletes. A lot of kids that are really committed to the game. Out of our roster right now, we have 8 or 9 kids that are very dedicated and play it just about year-round. So, you know, there's no reason why we feel like with that kind of commitment that we can't be up near the top of the conference and hopefully the top of the Division II teams year in, year out. As far as Central tomorrow night, yeah, they nipped us the first time. Wasn't one of our better games. We had some off-the-court things going on that day where with our manager that I don't want to go into any more detail, but just not a good situation for her, and we had a lot of kids on the team that were kind of upset over that. I'm not making excuses. Central beat us, you know, fair and square that night, but we've been looking forward to the rematch. I believe that probably cost us the 1 seed in our seeding meeting yesterday by not beating Central, because that kind of got thrown back at us a little bit. So we're looking forward to the rematch. You know, if we can get by our first tournament game, there's probably a chance we'll see Central again in 11 days. So
I know, and in fact, as I said, we will broadcast that game, and I will be at Holman, where you grew up, with the Holman and Logan, but our other crew will be working your game. So, well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to step aside just for a minute. We come back more here as we profile Onalaska girls basketball here on Seven Rivers Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, and this week, Onalaska Hilltopper basketball, one of the best programs in the area, of course. Shane Schmelling, Devyn Schmelling, Lauren Arenz. Before we went on break, we talked just briefly about the seeding. And as we tape the show here on February 17th, late last night, the seedings came out. And I looked at them, and there's Onalaska, number 2 seed. And real briefly, a lot of people ask me oftentimes, like, how are those, what level of objectivity and subjectivity and so on goes into a seeding meeting?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of common opponents is what gets brought up a lot. I mean, be very honest, I was disappointed we got the 2. I felt we deserved the 1. No disrespect to River Falls, who did get the 1 seed, as they've had a really good season. But so it's 6 teams from our conference, everybody minus Aquinas. And Big Rivers has 3 or 4 teams, and there's a couple other teams that are just solo from other conferences. So it's a little bit difficult to find common opponents, but that's really kind of what everybody stresses. And you know, this is the Central game that came back again, so we've played Central once. Our rematch is not till after the seeding meeting. And since they beat us and River Falls beat Central in a non-conference game, excuse me, that was, I think, kind of the deciding factor.
One quick question, too. We have a lot more things to talk about, but a lot of people ask this question. The cluster, okay, based on geography. The cluster of teams. In this particular regional, it's all the teams in the MVC plus some other teams, ancillary teams, Big Rivers, whatever. But it's a cluster of teams that you play in your league. And a lot of people are like, why don't they change that and have a different cluster of teams? What's your thought?
Well, I think they try to do it geographically, so that makes sense. But you know, and I think it's very difficult. I think it would be harder to seed it if you didn't have teams that had played each other, because you know, then it's just opinion. You know, and you know, I like some of these polls, you know, the Wisconsin coaches poll and the AP poll that come out. I mean, I love for the kids to get a little notoriety if we happen to be ranked, but, you know, reality is probably anybody that's voting in that AP poll minus one or two people have probably never seen us play. So, you know, it's a lot of opinion. That's why I like that the seeding meeting involves teams that have played each other, you know, a fair amount during the season.
Well, and you like it because it's face-to-face, too. You can read the tea leaves. You can share your thoughts and so on. And I think you and I have talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Devyn Schmelling, let's talk about our guests up close and personal so our viewers get to know them. You're basketball, volleyball, academic too, so you go to class once in a while.
Yeah.
So you're a student first and athlete second.
Yep.
Did you take some of the hardest classes too?
Yeah, I take a couple of honors classes each semester.
Good. So you know that classroom comes first. Is that due to the influence of your family?
Yeah, my family and my sisters and my parents have always tried to hold us to high expectations to make us try and be successful in life and like practice getting everything done on time and just
Good
try
for
and
you.
get to the best you can.
Student of the month, lots of honor roll, lots of things, including, here's something that struck me too, peer ministry. Describe that.
So I was confirmed last year at my church, and this year peer ministry is just another way to help other individuals through tough times they're going to, so you learn to listen well and trying to like figure out solutions to their problems or figure out solutions to your own problems using God and using your pastor and using other peers.
You're impressive. So are you, by the way.
Thank you.
Lauren Arenz, all academic twice. Leadership is who you are all about too, by the way. Athletes, it's a gift to be an athlete. It is a gift. A lot of people don't understand that, and with a gift comes accountability and expectations. It's a gift. Not a lot of people have that gift. Your gift is demonstrated in the fact that you're involved in Link.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So it's basically where juniors and seniors in the high school, they can go help either new students or like the incoming freshmen coming into the high school not knowing the new schedule or where the classrooms are. So you can just basically help them out throughout the school, and if they have any questions about like the finals or just helpful tricks and stuff. So.
I'm impressed with that. Link crew. And all teams have an identity, and all players have an identity, and they have strengths, and they have things that they need work on. What would be your identity and your strength, Lauren?
I would say I'm passionate about a lot of things that I do. I think it's one of the key things that you need to have to be successful in life, obviously, to get through challenges and just keep on fighting. And then I think like a struggle would probably be to go out of my comfort zone. But then again, like, to be a leader, you need to step out of your comfort zone to really, I don't know.
Well, two reactions to that. One, you stepped out of your comfort zone today because you felt good about that, I hope.
Yeah.
And number two, you said passion. I remember Dick Bennett would always say to his kids, don't be lukewarm. Be passionate about everything you do in life. Does that describe you too, Devyn?
Yeah, I try and give 100% effort no matter what. Even if I'm struggling, I just have to keep pushing through it.
Let's fast forward. You're going to graduate in 2022. Have you already looked at maybe what you might embark on after you graduate?
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time, especially being injured, about what I want to do after high school and after college, and I've decided to pursue the teaching career.
That is awesome. My wife taught in Onalaska for 40 years, and she loved every minute of it. And when she sees, when students come up to her, when we're in a restaurant or wherever, she still gets emotional and frankly illuminated to see them. And so you're not sure, of course, where you're going to go. Well, not all of us have role models, certainly. I have many, and some of them are in sports and others not. Who's your role model?
One of my greatest role models is my grandma. She has battled many things in her life, including breast cancer, and she's a breast cancer survivor, and she's gone through a lot of things, and it's just great to see her courageousness and her strength.
I think your other role model, too, is the guy next to you.
Yeah.
and I know why. But I see Grandpa and Grandma at almost every game. You talk about devoted to their grandchildren. Not only you, but the other grandchildren too.
Yeah.
I see them at all the games. Lauren, your family is as devoted as the Schmelings, and they're at every one of your games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, you might not wave at them or go up and talk to them, but you know they're there, don't you?
Oh, of course, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I love it. I mean, they're always there to support me, whether it's on the court or not, and it's awesome.
Role models in your life?
I'd probably say my family, just everyone in my family, they've all been so successful in life, and nothing to look down on from them. It's awesome.
That's probably a good way to do it, because then you're pleasing everybody.
Exactly, exactly.
So when Lauren graduates, by the way, you're a senior, you know that.
I am. Yep, yep.
And when you graduate, now a lot of people in the area flew. One of my good friends is a coach by the name of Karen Middleton. You ever heard of her?
Yeah.
She's been on the show. She's a good friend. She's on at UWL, and she I think she was hoping you would go to play with the Eagles, and instead you're flying the other way up north to Stout.
Yep.
How hard was that?
I mean, I wanted to stay within 2 hours just because of the family, how close I am, and how much I love Onalaska. But I actually, my AAU coach actually coaches, assistant coaches at Stout, so I loved her, and I got to meet the coaches, and I played at UW Stout a couple of times in the AAU tournaments this summer. So,
You know, when I saw that, I thought maybe Lauren wants to create her own identity. Could that be part of it?
maybe.
And you're going to become a teacher.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
What kind of a teacher are you going to be?
Elementary education or speech pathology.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Oh God, probably from elementary school, Mrs. Gavin.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all of them again. So
Yeah,
You have a
it's
favorite
hard.
teacher?
It's hard.
No, I don't.
You have a favorite class?
Math's always been my favorite subject.
Oh, you're good in math. So, philosophy of life, what would that be for Lauren Arenz?
I don't know. It's such a hard question.
How about this one then? When you leave and graduate, which is in May, and your name comes up like years down the line for some reason, down in the hallway in the Commons, and they bring up your name on a serious note, what do you want them to say about you?
Just to always know that I was always the person there to like help somebody else, or was always nice and kind and caring of everyone.
That's awesome. Would your teammates say that about you now?
Yeah, I think so. I'd hope so.
Well, I bet you they would. And you're too young to be asking that question,
Just a
because you
little.
have a long road ahead of you. Coach, I've always enjoyed you, and you know that, and I don't want to be redundant with that, but we're looking at what you have again tomorrow night, big game, and then Menominee at home, and then the postseason, and we're going to be broadcasting some postseason games here on KQEG, so it's a bright postseason for you, I hope.
Yeah, you know, we like the position we're in, and I feel like we got a quality team capable of making a deep run. Feel like we're playing some pretty good basketball here lately. You always want to be playing well at the end of the year. I think we've got a really good core group of seniors that have been in the program a long time, and some have been playing since freshman and for sure sophomore years that have been through this many times. So this is kind of their last hurrah. I hope we can send them out on a great note.
Well, I hope you can too, and I'm confident you will. And the spotlight, appropriately enough, shining on the Onalaska Hilltopper girls basketball again. This week, Shane Schmelling, Devyn Schmelling, and Lauren Arenz. Thanks for being on the show again.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
We'll be back with a recent game here that we covered on KQEG right after this.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 five-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
When When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I hope you enjoyed our interview. The spotlight this week on Onalaska Hilltopper girls basketball under the direction of Coach Shane Schmelling, one of the best programs in the Coulee region. Next week, the spotlight shifts to the Central Red Raider girls program, a team that finished second in the MVC behind the Aquinas Blue Goals. Till next week, I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.